Show Us Your Glory was written in late 2019. I was at my mother and father's and I just had the guitar on my lap and we were talking about my daily devotional, and in my daily devotional I just said to my mum, I want to see God's glory fall, I want to see revival. And Mum and Dad have been going to a prayer meeting week in, week out, to a small Valleys church, and where they pray for revival every Thursday night. And Mum was saying that, you know, we need to get on our knees if we're to see revival. We need to get on our knees and cry out to Him. And that's very much where the song was born. And I had a little phrase that came into my head, you know, we're on our knees crying out to you, show us your glory. And that was sort of the origins of the song. The song was due to be recorded at the end of March 2020. But due to the coronavirus crisis deepening, none of the band could make it to the studio for our first session where we were going to record the drums. But I just felt a weight that I had to record and release this song now. So I persevered with the booking. I went to meet my producer Gary White, who is gifted at string arrangements, and we spent 11 hours rearranging the song and recording a different version of it that we could release straight away. And we actually finished, on the day that we finished it, we finished an hour before the Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced lockdown in the UK. So it was very timely. Once I'd recorded Show Us Your Glory, I then had the problem of how do I get it out there? My sub-publishers weren't in the office. I couldn't create the artwork overnight and give it to an artist just like that to create. And it was all up in the air, and I had to think outside the box like so many other people during the lockdown. And I thought, well, lots of people are at home. I want to share the song with them. So I put a shout out on social media to see who would be interested in just filming themselves singing along to the song, really. I was inundated with the responses and had lots and lots of video editing to do and learn on the fly. And people seem to have a lot of fun making it.
Oh man. See, there's a link there. What?
Nothing is higher.
Glorify your Son. Let your will be done. Let your glory fall you. Just messed up.
The song has been shared all around the world just by the small group of people who helped to make the video. And I've been told that it's been played and sung in Finland, Ivory Coast, South Africa, Crete and Greece and beyond. I want as many people as possible to share the song, because it's a prayer that people can say no matter who they are and no matter whether they have faith or they don't have faith. It's very much a prayer and a song that people can join in with as we try and turn back to God. Hello, good evening and welcome to Social Distancing Live. I've not put anything on the green screen, I've just noticed, so welcome. I'm just going to go with a really boring brick background for the moment, but yeah, hope you're all well, and it's another new week and it's another new episode of Social Distancing Live, and I can't believe, I think, is it week 8, week 9? I've just lost count. I don't know what week it is, but Anna's returned to work today, so she's off furlough, and so that's good in one way. In another way, though, it's been very testing and challenging, swapping roles all day today and not working on the program today. So yeah, it's been quite a challenging day. I hope you're all well, and please say hello and where you're watching from. We've got a very special guest on, Eric Reverence, who I'm going to introduce in just a moment. But before we get Eric on, let's see who's on tonight. So let's have a look. So Janice Jones, aka Mother-in-Law. Hi Janice, hope you're well. Vicky Smith, hi Vicky, hope you're well as well. Sarah Hilton, hello there. Nathaniel Freeman, thank you for the advice you gave me earlier on something I can't mention, but it's to do with my son's birthday present. Thank you very much for the inside information there. and just in case he watches it, basically, we got him some presents dirt cheap today, and Nathaniel sent me a link. There was a fire sale at his favourite football club's website, so we visited that. Hello to Anna Westall, my wife, who is on the comment section as always. So she's done a full day of work today, and now she's working again tonight. So God bless you, Anna. And hi to Beulah. Hope you're well. And Michael, hope you're well, Michael. Hope you've had a good day too. And there we are. Janice says, Show Us Your Glory's been played every day over the weekend and again today on UCB2. Oh, amazing. That's great. Brilliant. Thanks for sharing that, Janice. That's really encouraging. Good evening to Sandy Oxlade. Good evening. Hi, hope you're well. And evening to my mum, a.k.a. Nancy Westall. And for those of you who don't know, my mum's big on emoticons, so she's got a big wavy hand thing going on there. And goodness knows where other emoticons we're going to get throughout the course of the evening. And brilliant. And thanks for the clarification there to Nathaniel. Just starting week 9. So this is week 9 of Social Distancing Live. Hi to Mark Small as well. Hi, Mark. Hope you're well. And yeah, so we've got a very special edition tonight of Social Distancing Live. We have got Eric Reverence. Eric was introduced to me through our mutual friend Lolita Gill, who you remember we had on about 2 or 3 weeks ago now. We had 2 special episodes with an extended interview with Lolita, sharing her amazing music. And she connected me with Eric, and I spoke to him, and we just connected straight away. And you're going to love him as well. And I'd like to introduce Eric now. If I can get this technical stuff correct. Eric, how are you, my brother? How are you doing?
I am fine, Rob. How are you doing? I'm so fine. Nice weather today, mate.
Yeah, it's been a really good day. So for those the viewers who don't know where you're from, where are you based, and where do you live?
So I'm based in Hayes, Kent, near Bromley. Yeah, so lovely, quiet area. Loads of trees. I love the green. Yeah, really do. So yeah. That's where I'm from. That's right.
Amazing, and of course, lockdown has been challenging, and we were talking just a little bit off air about the challenges of having so many children. So could you please tell our viewers, who you're married to, how many kids you've got, and your setup there, and how lockdown has been for you?
So I'm married to a wonderful woman called Saskia. And we have 2 beautiful children, a daughter called Trinity, who is 10, and Nathaniel, who is 5. So, and yeah, this lockdown, I think, to me, obviously, with all the sudden the deaths that's been going on, and it's just been so terrible, and condolences to all the family. And I personally have friends that, family friends that have passed away as well.
Wow.
It is really sad, but in being locked down in a house, it's just opening new avenue to things. I've always said that in the midst of every crisis, there's an opportunity. I believe there's an opportunity, and for me personally, it's been great time bonding with the family. Spending time with the kids. That one wouldn't really have in terms of the field that I'm in, and so forth. So, yes, you get the kids going crazy in the house. Don't touch this, don't do this, and it's very hard for them, because they're not used to being in a house. Thank God we've got a decent sized garden so they can go about and just burn all their energies. But I think for me personally, I've taken the positive out of it, and trying use the opportunity to spend more time with my family, really. So, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we returfed the lawn last year, and it's like having an extra room when the weather's like this. And boy, do I thank God for that every day, to be honest with you.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. So we're going to hear some of your fantastic music tonight. I'm really looking forward to sharing that with everyone here on Social Distancing Live. By the way, guys, you're watching Eric Reverence, our very special guest tonight on Social Distancing Live. Conscious that people tune in at various points, so just there'll be a lot of repetition tonight. But if you'd like to say hello to Eric, give him a warm welcome. And speaking of warm welcomes, it's a bit of a tradition here on Social Distancing Live. We say hello to Gavin Owen, and he's known as Gavin from the Rhondda. So hello, Gavin from the Rhondda. Welcome. He's also one of our videographers here and helps us out. So God bless you, mate. And hello to Nathaniel from the Rhondda. Nathaniel likes your name. He likes Reverence as your surname. Did I say that correctly with your surname?
Right, you said it so well.
It's a very holy surname. I like it. It's very good indeed. Hello to Chris Lewis from Ebervale as well, who's tuning in there as well. So welcome. So Eric, tell us a little bit about music and how you got involved, and how long have you been writing songs and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So I started off as a drummer, and I remember when I was in Ghana, I was born in Ghana,
Yeah.
in West Africa, and so my granddad started off as drums, my uncle started off as drums, and then I guess it's something that's been running through the family. So I'll just gather some milk cans and so forth and just start creating beats.
Wow.
It's amazing what these things can do. And so went to Canada and got involved in this cool band, age of 12 to 14, and then came to the UK to stay with my mum, and she was a choir leader at a Methodist church in South London. So coming the background I'm from, you have to go to church, you have no choice. So she I used to play drums a lot there, and there was an opportunity where I think they were lacking some singers. So she just said, "You're singing today." I think, oh, wow. It was all new, but it's amazing how things happens, isn't it? Got me into the choir, and then from there started to lead some songs, and then I started to develop at the age of 15, 16, started to develop kind of these sort of melodies in my head. So I'll record them down, and then from that I started to put some words, lyrics to it, and then started off slowly, and then I developed from that, and then one thing led to another. I started to enjoy singing more, and I felt that was where my calling was, really. So writing songs, worship songs especially, and the church, most of the times I'll write it for the choir and then we'll use it, and then I'll have youth concerts and so forth that I'll go to and I'll sing it. So it just built up from there. It just came from, I always say I thank my mum. Sometimes you don't realize where certain things take shape, isn't it? I was passionate about drumming. I never thought I was going to be a singer or anything like that at all. So this is where it all happened, and
Well, I wish I had that background, because timing is a massive issue for me. So at least you've got that in your locker. That's fantastic. But in terms of, you mentioned, you had no choice to go to church as well, and I grew up in a Christian household, and there was never any sort of question of me believing or anything like that. So where did your personal faith come into things? When did that all happen? And could you tell us a little bit about that story?
Yeah. So it was at a faith camp in Peterborough, called Faith Camp, actually, and I think they were done by Kingdom Faith Church. I don't know if they're still doing it, but I started to attend those, and even though I was brought up as a Christian and I believe in God, but I never really had an encounter, that personal encounter with God. I knew of Him, but I didn't know Him, if you get what I mean. So that faith camp really opened my eyes, and I really felt the presence of God, the love of God, and the conviction, and it was so powerful. And I just knew that, they gave an altar call, and that's where I really gave my life to Jesus and believed that, this, even though, we've been brought up to, as Christians in the family, but I got to know Christ as my Lord and Savior through that conference, and so it's amazing.
And is that why you mentioned earlier on about writing worship songs? Is that what led you to write predominantly worship songs, through having that personal encounter with God?
I'll say that. I was highly influenced by like Don Moen as well. So I listened to a lot of Kirk Franklin as well, especially the worship songs that I did. But Don Moen and is it Vineyard, or is that what they're called? Is it Vineyard? No, I forgot the name, but I remember when it comes to So I kind of connected with more of the contemporary style of songs.
Yeah.
And to be honest, those were the kind of sounds that or melodies that I was hearing in my head, and it really inspired. Listening to Don Moen, especially at that young age, inspired me a lot, and I developed a lot of, because his songs were really simple, isn't it? Simple, straightforward, and you can sing along easily,
Yeah.
and I really connected with them. Yeah, that's right.
Well, we've got a couple of interactions here. Mark Small, I know, is a Don Moen fan as well. He says, how close are you to Sidcup? Because his wife Sue's sister goes to church in Sidcup.
I'm very close to Sidcup. They're about 20 minutes away.
There you go. So that's answered that one then. And then Sarah Hilton says, hi Eric, I've been to Ghana. I used to live in Nigeria. It's a beautiful country. Be blessed.
Oh, thank you, Sarah. God bless you too.
And as I said, I told you Mark Small was a Don Moen fan. He says, Don Moen, fantastic songwriter and singer. Love his music. I know the audience really well. I like to think I do anyway. Speaking of music, we're going to listen to. We've got quite a few of your songs that we can listen to tonight, and I'm really excited to share these with everybody tonight. So, what song would you like to choose for us first, Eric, and why?
Okay, so we'll probably go with I'll Carry On first, because a very, very personal song to me, through a time of going through abuse when I was in Canada, severe abuse as well. And through that, it was really, really, really tough times there. And it's very personal to me. For those that have been going through abuse, it's just kind of something to give them hope, to know that, in regards to any circumstances that you're going through, that just carry on, because God has great plans for you. And it's based on Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. I know the plans I have for you, plans to give you hope in the future. And I stood by that. And that's what carried me through, even thinking of committing suicide through the abuse as well. So, I'll have to start off then. I pray that those that are listening to it, if you're going through anything, just be encouraged to know that it's not the end of the world. It may be tough. You may think that there's no way out, but I encourage you that God is in control and He'll make a way for you. Yeah. And I'm a living testimony, Sanya. So, yeah, that's right.
Amen. Thank you for sharing that personal story there, Eric. And this is I Will Carry On by tonight's special guest on Social Distancing Live, Eric Reverence.
In spite of my circumstances and my tribulation, the pain I've been through, I'll carry on. In spite of everything I've done, the way I've been treated, the trials I've been through, I'll carry on. 'Cause I am yours, I am yours. Use me, Lord, to do your will. 'Cause I am yours, I am yours. Use me, Lord, to do your will. weapon formed against the Lord shall prosper now. You set the captives free. You gave your life for me. No weapon formed against me shall prosper anymore. I know that I will make it. I know that I am free. I know where I belong. I will rejoice in you. You set the captives free. You gave your life for me. No weapon shall prosper anymore. I know I'm free. I belong. You said the captives free. No weapon shall prosper anymore. I know, yeah, I'm free. I rejoice in you, you said the captives free. No weapon shall prosper anymore. I know, yeah, I'm free. I rejoice in you, Lord. Hallelujah. I carry on for you. I carry on for you, yeah. 'Cause I am yours. I am yours. Use me, Lord, to do your will. I am yours. I am yours. Use me, Lord, to do your will. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Absolutely fantastic stuff, and that was I Will Carry On by tonight's special guest on Social Distancing Live, Mr. Eric Reverence. And that was a beautiful song, Eric, and I'm just going to go over some of the comments on a section because I'm not alone in thinking that as well. My mum, Nancy, I told her she was a bit of a loose cannon with the emoticons, and she hasn't let us down. She's got Let's Carry On, and she's got a prayer emoji, one of those circles with love hearts, faces with love hearts, and what's known as the right elbow of fellowship on Social Distancing Live. That's a bit of an in-joke and a long story, but yeah, that's a lot of love. Sarah Hilton says, beautiful song, big massive love heart emoji on that one. Janice Jones, my mother-in-law, says, you set the captives free. Sarah Hilton says, powerful. Thank you, Jesus, for setting us free. Gavin Owen says, that's quite an army of backing singers. I've got to be honest, I was quite jealous of your backing singing troupe there. That was incredible. But some heavenly harmonies going on there. Beulah Cheeseman says, amazing song, Eric. Such hope and encouragement, particularly if going through hard times. Thank you for writing and sharing it with us. There you go. And on the Sid Cup issue, Mark Small says, my sister goes to New Generation Church Sid Cup that runs Lark in the Park, and her leader is Paul Weston. She asked what church Eric is in. And we were just discussing that off air, actually, weren't we, what church you go to?
Yeah. So I go to Life City Church based in Croydon. We're currently using this secondary school hall in Colston. But yeah, we're based in Croydon. Yeah, that's right.
Marvellous there. And Nathaniel Freeman says, beautiful harmony and melodies. A lot of love for that song. And of course, before we went into that song, you were telling us that song was born out of quite a difficult time in your life.
Yes, it was. So my sister and myself lived in Ghana, and we got the opportunity to go to Canada and live with my biological dad. And he was married to my stepmother. So we felt that, wow, from Ghana to Canada was such a huge, it's a dream come true, really. But to cut the story short, when we got there, for some reason, my stepmother didn't. I don't know what it was, but didn't just from day one didn't like us, especially me. I don't know, because if I was the only son, and in our culture at that moment, if you are the son of the firstborn son of your family, so it was like if the worst was to happen and your father passed away, then you inherit, automatically inherit everything, really. And I was only 12 years old, so I don't know why she had that in her mind. She had girls as well, so she made life hell for myself and my sister. I remember Canada is very cold, and she shaved all my sister's hair off, basically everything in such a cold country. They will lock us in the room, and at times for 2 days without no food.
Wow.
And constant beatings. And my dad was massive, and I was very, very small. And my stepmom just kept lying and lying. He would just believe it. He wouldn't even ask us whether it was, did this happen? He would just come home, beat us, lock us in the room, without no food. And part of my survival as well, because I was going to high school, was going to the malls, supermarkets to steal lunch. So I'll go there lunch and start stealing from the supermarket just for something to eat, or I'll be just begging the leftovers from my friend. This is Canada, first world country. So,
wow.
And the same clothing that we took from Ghana for 2 years was the same clothes that we're wearing. And it was difficult. And even though some of my friends noticed it, the abuse and the treatment, why don't you call the police? But when fear gets hold of you, it controls every part of you. And even if you can do the right thing, you're so scared to do it, because I felt like Dad's presence was everywhere. Even when I'm going to pick the phone, he would be at work miles away, but I felt like he was there. So it was so bad. And we lived on the 19th floor, and I was going to do it, but you start hearing these voices, you're worthless. Because, sorry to even backtrack, when I was going to primary school in Ghana, I was being told that you're worthless, nothing good will ever come out of you, at the age of 5 to 10 years old. And I was thinking, at that young age, to be hearing this, it's you program it in you automatically, so you start to behave in a certain way that, you're never going to be anything, even at that. So to go to Canada and to experience that, it kind of confirmed that, yeah, maybe I am worthless, there's nothing. So that's where the suicidal thoughts started coming to my head. And only reason I didn't do it was because I'm like, all right, I've got my sister here. She's the only one that obviously we can depend on. And if I do it, then it's going to put her in more problem, isn't it? And so forth. So, and there was also this thing in me that was telling me that it was like if God was just speaking to me, even though I didn't really know God that well, that I have plans for you, I have a future for you. There was this thing that I've always felt at a young age. But then to be hearing people saying these negative things about me for no reason, not that I misbehaved or anything, but it was like, I don't know, when I think of it now, did they know maybe what God wanted me to become? Or you understand why these things were being spoken, even at a young age? But, I thank God for his grace and mercy, and that I didn't do it. I went through a I was struggling at school because I was full of anger, and I hated my dad. Even when we came to the UK, my mom sensed that something was not right. and so she invited us to come over. And I hated my dad, and I was living with a lot of unforgiveness, you know. And until I let that go, I just reached a point. I said that, you know, the thing about unforgiveness is, even though someone has harmed you and have really hurt you deeply, you holding on to it, you are actually not moving forward, you know. And until I learned to let go, it was really hard because I kept thinking, why did my dad leave her? Why? I mean, he could have just asked us, you know.
Yeah.
But none of that, you know, none of that. So I had to learn to forgive him, and I did. It was very hard. The bond that we have is not there, but you know, he's still my father. I love him. You know, I've forgiven my stepmom as well, and I have no issue with them. But obviously, it's created a distance, you know, and so forth. And we do talk, and he apologized. He saw everything that has happened, and he apologized. And we're really cool now. But yeah, so this was the story behind the song "I'll Carry On" that I wrote.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Eric, thank you for sharing such a deeply, deeply personal story, and yeah, thank God that you know, God brought you through that, and because otherwise, you know, we wouldn't have this amazing gift, and that you share with us. But equally, you're an awesome person as well, and God bless you. And just to reiterate that, Sarah, I don't know if it's Sarah or Sarah, it's Sarah Manfreda, says Eric is the best, with some sparkly stuff on the end there.
Bless.
And then Shanice Fenwick says, amazing that you found forgiveness. Big massive love up. You are an inspiration. So just want to read those out, not to blow your own trumpet, but just to encourage you. Thank you for sharing that indeed. And we're gonna, if you just tuned into Social Distancing Live, our special guest tonight is Eric Reverence, award-winning Christian musician and singer-songwriter and worship leader. And Eric, what song have you got for us next? What song would you like us to play for you next?
Yeah, so I guess we can play the latest song called "More."
Yeah.
And yeah, this is a song that is very dear to me as well, and is basically I use the scripture, Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5, trust in the Lord with all your heart, do not lean in your own understanding, in all your ways acknowledge him. And I went through a time of my life when, you know, sometimes when you get into certain levels in terms of, you know, within the whole Christian and worship leading, you tend to think that you can do things by yourself. And the more you do things by yourself, things just come crumbling down. And I realized that, you know, and you know it as well. It's not like you don't know it, you know it. And so I just learned more to just trust on God. Not, you know, ministry is not a rush. It's a lifetime, you know. And God, if God is going to elevate you, He will elevate you when the time is right. And so more was something that I went through, you know, just living a life of a true worship, just surrendering everything unto Him, and that He's the one that, you know, so I live my life to worship. That's what the chorus says. And I hope that it's a blessing to all of you that's listening to it.
Brilliant. Well, this is the brand new single from Eric Reverence, our special guest tonight on Social Distancing Live, and this is More.
Here I am, my life laid down for you. I give my all to you. So ready to your love. Take my hands and hold me close to you. Surrounded by your grace. For all I have is you. I live my life to worship. I live my life to know you. Jesus, I need you more change my heart to make me more like you and know you day by day. For I belong to you. In your ways I walk and all through faith. You lead me every day. For all I have is you. I live my life to worship. I live my life to know you. Jesus, I need you more, more and more, more of you. I live my life to know you. I live my life for you. Jesus, I need you more, more and more, more of you. More of you. More of you. More of you. I need more of your goodness. I need more of your mercies. I need more of you, Jesus. More of you, Jesus. More of you. I live my life to worship. I live my life to know you. Jesus, I need you more, more and more, more of you. I live my life to know you. I live my life for you. Jesus, I need you more, more and more, more of you.
Absolutely fantastic. That's More, the new single by tonight's special guest, Eric Reverence. Eric, just got to ask, how can people get hold of that song? When is it out? And where can they get it from?
Yep, so it's all on the digital platforms as well. So if you want to listen to it, so you can go on YouTube and watch the video. Yeah, you can get it everywhere. iTunes, Amazon, Google. Yeah, everywhere you can get it. So yeah, please go and yeah, share it across as well, you know.
Brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, please go and do that and support Eric. He's got kids and he's got a roof over his head.
You put a face in my mouth now. That's a good one, though. I need to get you to be my spokesman, you know.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you can say it for me at another time. So we've got some comments. I mean, you just shared quite a really deeply personal story, and thank you so much for being so vulnerable and sharing that. And my mum says, yes, inspirational. God has you, and she's got the handshake emoji, and I think that means that God's got you. I'm trying to interpret my mother's emojis and emoticons. Sorry. Sarah Hilton says, thank you for sharing such a personal story. God always brings us through. Forgiveness only comes through Jesus. And she says, I surrender all. And Beulah says, so heartbreaking what happened to you and your sister, yet you forgave, and God is using you so mightily for him to bring him to others. You are such an inspiration and such a humble man. That's Beulah there. And just been listening to your latest single, More. Janice Jones, my mother-in-law, says, great worship song. Sarah Hilton, just beautiful. And it is beautiful indeed. And actually, Mum goes, great song, and then there's loads of emoticons. I'm not even going to try and decipher what they mean, but it's all good. but Eric, speaking of being beautiful, now I think you know where this is going. I discovered in the research for this interview that you were robbed actually when you voted the third most good-looking man in Ghana or something like that, and it should have been first. Should have been first.
No, it was in the UK actually.
It was in the UK.
Yeah, I've kept this for very. I've not even told anyone about this, you know. But it has to be Rob. Just have to go and find out, isn't it?
Former journalist,
Has to
sorry.
be. But we are talking about when I was working with young people, isn't it, Rob? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
totally,
Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about that, just to fill everybody in and what happened?
Oh gosh, wow. Cheers, mate, Rob.
Sorry, we like to have a laugh on this program as well. It's not all
I know,
serious.
I know, it's good. It's good to laugh. It's good to. So how did it start? Basically, an ad was put. I used to do a little bit of modeling here and there and so forth. And I saw this ad about Miss Ghana and Mr. Ghana UK. So I thought, yeah, I was just playing along. I just went on the internet, just submitted my interest, and it was all a joke. I didn't even take it serious.
Yeah.
And then I think within the week, they sent response about, oh, have I got some photos? So I sent some of my photos, my portfolio, and then they said, oh, we'd like you to come for auditioning and so forth to see if you were selected. And all this time I was thinking, why am I even doing this? This is just a joke. I mean, this is serious. So I thought, all right, just curiosity, I'll just go. So I went there, and oh god, there's loads of people that are thinking, wow, really, people really want to do this? Seriously? Thinking, yeah, so all right. Called me, do your work, come back, and blah blah blah. So I thought, all right, whatever. So I got home, and then within a couple of hours, I got called and said, yeah, you've been selected to for Ghana, Mr. Ghana UK. Thinking, are you serious? thinking, I tried everything to discourage them not to choose me, like that. So I'm thinking, okay. Shouldn't. All right. Okay, so I thought, okay, I'll do it. But I was still joking about it. I still didn't take the seriousness of it until we went for lessons. It was about, I think, 6 weeks of lessons where you go and you go through all the rehearsals and blah, 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 and so forth. And until the actual day when I was thinking, Eric, are you serious? You're actually doing Mr. Ghana UK. Huge. It was in South London, and it was I think it was called Caesars. The place, it was packed. I was thinking, oh my god! I didn't tell anyone about this. I think it's only my immediate family that knew about it,
Yeah.
and I hid it. Anyway, I came third.
Wow.
So, and it opened. Actually, it was for some reason it connected me to it got me into a job. So we did a lot of charity work. There was like in first to third, you know. So it was good to do a lot of charity work through that. Got good connections as well. Got a job out of it as well. So I can't complain. You know, something that I didn't even plan.
Well,
So,
if you ask me, mate, you were robbed. You should have been number one.
oh, you're so nice, bro. Thank you, bro.
Brilliant. Yeah, sorry for leading you down that path, but this thought is a bit of an interesting story. I mean, we've got Mr. Ghana UK on the program tonight. But Eric, seriously, now we're going to hear some more of your music. And what song do you want to share with us next?
So we can play Our God Reigns.
Oh, I don't think I've got that one actually.
Want it, yeah?
Shall I give you a choice?
Okay, yes, good. Let's go for it.
There we are. We've got I Belong, and You Are, and then we've also got In You. I think the title's cut off that one there, sorry. Is In You, yeah, sorry.
Okay, yeah, so I'll probably go with I Belong. Yeah, I Belong, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about I Belong.
So, again, I think this was just after when I came to the UK, and you know, at times when you trust people so much, and I built certain relationships with close friends of minister friends actually, and for some reason, I don't know, there was a bit of envious, you know, towards my progression and so forth, and I don't know why, because I'm someone that I believe that if something happens to me, I want to share it.
Yeah.
I want everyone to benefit from
Absolutely.
that. That's the kind of person I am. So I find it strange and very difficult why people will be envious of you. So
Yeah.
I belong was more about trusting God. I belong to you. My soul belongs to you. That God is the only person that you can really give your all to, because I'm someone that tend to trust people easily,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I've been hurt so many times because of that. And I've grown to know that, you know what? Yes, it's good to trust people, but the ultimate person that you can trust to is God. So this is where I belong comes from. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Eric. Well, our special guest tonight is Mr. Eric Reverence, award-winning Christian artist, and this is his song, I Belong.
I'm in love with you.
Worthy, worthy, Lord. Holy, holy Lord. Glory, glory, Lord. Awesome, awesome Lord. Worthy, yeah. We lift you awesome, awesome
Absolutely fantastic. I Belong by tonight's special guest, Eric Reverence. Eric, lovely song, and again, I'm not alone in thinking that as well. So Sarah Hilton, looks like Sarah was worshipping there. Sarah's a worshipper. Wow, you are so worthy, Lord. And Michael C. Rose, hi Michael, hope you're well. Brilliant song. And yeah, Sarah actually was worshipping because from the emoticons, worthy, holy is our God, with the two-hand sign going up there. I think that means, I used to think that was double high five, but I think that's an emoticon holding your hands in the air now in worship. I've changed my thinking on that now. And yeah, stunning song of praise and worship. And Mark Small, inspirational, humble man, the countenance of the Lord is on you, brother, with the prayer emoji there from Mark Small. Beulah, great song, Double Love Heart. And Irene Bonsu Ami Eko, sorry if I've mispronounced that, says amen. God bless you, Irene, and thanks for tuning in tonight. So, do you know Irene?
That's my sister.
Oh, your sister. Oh, there you are. God bless you, Irene. Welcome, welcome to Social Distancing Live. So, yeah, our special guest, Eric Reverence, is here tonight. And Eric, you were saying just before that song, really about we were talking off air, weren't we, about sort of, you know, how you trust God and things like that, and then we were talking off air about how a wrong perception of God, if we attribute God to relationships, or wrong interpretation of love. So if our experience of love is a bad one through past relationships, as you've alluded to tonight, you know, with some of you pastors, if you attribute love as being a negative thing, or people will let you down or be unfaithful or whatever. But I got brought up by my nan to think. I didn't get brought up by my nan. My parents brought me up, but she was very staunch in what she believed, and used to tell us that if we hid behind the sofa, God could still see us. If we got a biscuit from the biscuit tin, God could still see us. And they were very absolute truths that I really cherish right now. And so I've never really sort of attributed God, no like when you put a human thing on God, where you attribute him to react like lovers or past relationships, or I never attributed that to God. God is God. God is separate from that, and therefore I've always found it, not always perfectly, by the way, but it's a lot easier to trust him, therefore, because I know he's never going to let me down. Do you have the same sort of thing? Because it was a similar sort of theme to and background behind the song. Sorry for getting that long-winded way.
Yeah, you're so right there. You know, again, as I was sharing that, trust is something that, you know, I don't know how to put this, but yeah, with me personally, as I said earlier, that I tend to trust too quick, you know, and not saying it's a bad thing, you know, it's got its advantages and disadvantages at the same time as well. But the ultimate person to really put all your focus on is God, because as human beings, we can do things, isn't it? You know, we've got moods, we've got this, we've got everything. You know, I don't know if I'm trying to express this as best as I can, but what I'm trying to say is that God can never fail you. You know, God will never fail you. He's got you under his wings. He will guide you, and it's so important, so important to really get to know him. But the more you get to know him as well, I think the Holy Spirit gives that that discernment as well with people that you encounter. Not everyone that may come as there's an old saying about the wolves in sheep clothing. You're able to discern these things, and I'm really at a level or in the time of a season of my life or where I'm just learning to trust God more and not to really, there's been a lot of opportunities that have been offered to me, big opportunities and so forth. And I thank God for the Holy Spirit, because it's good and that it can make a huge difference in your life. But then you've got this inner thing telling you that no, it's not the path. I'll say 5 years ago, you didn't even have to mention it.
Yeah.
I'll be there, but I've learned to really, that trust and that obedience just be humble and just allow God to use you, really. Yeah.
Sure. And I mean, talking about opportunities, you said you had opportunities to do big things and things like that, but you actually work with young people at the moment, I understand.
Yeah. Yes, I do. It's really my passion. Funny thing is that I've done all sort of jobs, I've done sales, but I always come back to work with young people. And I think it's also come from, with what I faced when I was in Canada and the passion that I have to make sure that no other young person that I encounter have to go through that, and if they're going through that at least I can share my experience and how I overcame that and find ways to help them. So I've been working with vulnerable young people. I've been doing it for the past 20 years, and it's the greatest reward to me is to see that one young person has changed for the better. To me, that's the greatest. It's priceless. You can't touch that. And to hear them talk about where they were from, and there was one young guy that I was at a friend's wedding, and then I saw him. He came to me. I didn't even recognize him. And he brought his wife and said, "Eric." I said, "Who are you?" I was trying and said, "Don't you remember me? It's Dwayne." Who's Dwayne? This was like 25 years ago. Yeah. Wow. And he said to me that you don't realize how much you impacted me, Eric.
Wow.
And it's because of you that I'm who I am today. He's got his own business, and he said, "You've inspired me so much. You used to share with me about advise me and to me, I was like, wow, after all these years to meet someone, and it makes you realize that this is what it's all about. It's not about fame. It's about life transformation. And to me, that is what brings me joy to see that someone that can just move into a different level is doing well in their life. He's married and he's doing well, and he brought his wife in to say that this is the person that inspired me, and I didn't even know that's the truth. I did not even know that, and that was like I was like, wow, thank you God, that there are a lot of people there that Rob, I'm sure you've spoken to, you've encouraged people, and you don't realize the seed that you've sown into those people's lives. And to me, that's what my passion is. I want to be a role model to especially the young people that are going through situations in their life, and to be an example and to let them know that you can do it, with the help of God, you can do it. Yeah.
Marvelous. That's awesome. And of course, we've just got to be obedient, haven't we? And just do what God tells us to do. And we won't know the half of it sometimes, like you just said. But it's so great when you do learn something like that. Wow, that's awesome. So we're going to listen to some more music now. What song? We've got In You and You Are Left. Which one would you like?
Yeah, maybe we should go for You Are, for a bit of fast tempo. So yeah, you are just talking about just the awesomeness of God. That's my son playing. Nathaniel, please stop it. He
He's
always does
okay. He's
that.
okay.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, talk about no, come on. No. You want to say hello? All right, just say hello. There you are. That's my son. Say hello. Yeah.
Hi. Is it Nathaniel?
Yeah. Okay, you can go now. Yeah.
Oh, God
Bye.
bless you. Oh, bless
I
him.
knew. Surprised that all this time he hasn't come yet.
My two are the same. They've just gone to bed. Otherwise, my oldest two. Otherwise, they'd be
He's
clambering
still
on as
doing
well.
that. So yeah, coming back to you are just talking about the awesomeness of God. God is everything that we need, and I hope you enjoy what you're listening to it. Yeah.
Excellent. So this is You Are by our very special guest, Eric Reverence.
Hallelujah. We worship you, Lord. We magnify your name. Oh, you are everything I need, everything I want, Lord of all the earth. Oh, you are everything I am, everything I see. listening.
Amen, amen. So fantastic song again, Eric. Thank you very much. That was "You Are" by our special guest tonight on Social Distancing Live, Eric Reverence. And we've got where have we got now? Oh, there we are. My mum goes, "Yay, Nathaniel!" because your son made a cameo appearance a short while ago. Sarah Hilton says the same. And then during the song as well, "Praise you, God," says Sarah Hilton, and she's used that hands in the air emoji. And praising in my lounge, dancing around, she says. So there you go. Beulah says, great song and great one to dance to as well. God is so good. We have so much to be grateful for. He is worthy of all our worship. And there's a question here for you, Eric, from Gavin from the Rhondda. Gavin says, how does he write his songs? Is it lyrics first or music first, or does he co-write with other musicians?
It's a Gary, isn't it? Yeah.
Gavin from the Rhondda.
Gavin. Yeah. So Gavin, most of the times I'll hear melody in my ear. Like once someone start playing the certain keys, like I'll be at church and when we get into worship, spontaneous worship actually, it just comes. So I try to really be disciplined with myself, lock myself in a room at times, and just keep playing spontaneous style of worship, and it really helps me. Or I could be just walking out and something will just drop. So it's most of the time melody, or when I'm in a place where the atmosphere is, really powerful, and it just comes. So yeah, that's right.
They're sort of born out of a personal time of worship. Then, would you say they're born out of a personal time of worship where you're sort of worshiping at large?
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. It really like I don't know. It's like my spirit connects to certain. Like you were talking about strings and pads and so forth. Once they hit certain things, and like my keyboardist, he understands my heart. He understands, and he just knows. When someone connects with you, it just helps so much. So I'm able to write a lot of songs. I haven't even touched a lot of the songs that I've actually. But there's a time in the season for all of them anyway, so yeah.
And what about lockdown? Because we were talking off air about it being quite productive, saying that we've got so many songs we want to record. Has it been a productive time for you songwriting wise?
Yes, it has. And actually, this Believe song, this vision that came during the lockdown about getting all worship leaders or artists from all part of the world to come together and do a song for one purpose, to bring hope and to bring strength and to encouragement to people. So that song is actually called Believe, and it's something that I'm working on as well, which I've got you as well, the amazing Rob.
I'm honoured to be asked, actually.
That's right. So that is going well. That is really going well. I'm looking forward to the whole artists from all over the world, worship leaders. I mean, I think it's going to be something that's so inspirational and bring a lot of hope to people. Yeah.
Amen. And obviously you've got Wales covered, but just tell our viewers,
yes.
what are the countries have we got on there?
Oh, so we've got basically the aim, what God was showing me is to get every basically artists from all the continents. So I've got artists from Asia, I've got artists from the Caribbean, I've got artists from North America, South America, Europe as well. There's one continent that I need, and maybe some of you that are listening, I need artists from Australia or New Zealand.
Australia or New Zealand, so we need an Australian or New Zealand worship leader then.
Yeah, if we can get that, we've covered the whole continent.
Hey guys, if you know anybody personally, please pop it in the comments or private message me. I'll get it to Eric. We need a New Zealander or an Australian worship leader to be part of this project. And the song is called Believe. Sorry,
it's called Believe.
And can you tell us a bit about when it's coming out, how it's going to be recorded? I know, of course, but I want you to say it rather than me.
So if I believe most of you have seen the Blessing video that's been going on, where loads of different worship leaders from churches. So it's going to be similar to that. This is more of also an inspirational song. So the aim is to try and reach especially those that don't even believe in God, so different faiths as well. So the way it's written is all God underneath it, behind the scenes, but it's very inspirational and powerful. And I think in the middle, what we're trying to do, we're going to have just like a prayer in the middle, where it's just praying about God being in control of everything that is happening. I think that's going to be so, so powerful as well. So yeah, I'm really, really blessed to have a lot of that I said yesterday as well. So yeah, watch the space. I think we're looking at, maybe it was originally scheduled ending of this month, but I think with the amount of artists that are involved in trying to get everything ready and so forth, maybe maybe a couple of weeks after that. Yeah, as well. So maybe first week in June.
So we're looking at. We've just lost Eric for a moment there. Hopefully the connection will reconnect in just a moment. Yeah, Eric, sorry, we lost you for a moment there, but you said that we were looking at the first week in June for the song. For the song "Believe" to come out. It seems to have frozen again, guys. I do apologise, but you've been watching Eric Reverence on a special edition of Social Distancing Live tonight, and this is one of Eric's songs. This one is called "In You," and we'll try and get Eric back on the line in just a moment. Awesome, and I'm pleased to say that we've got Eric back on the line. Eric Reverence, our special guest here in Social Distancing Live, and that was In You. Wonderful, wonderful song, very worshipful. And Sarah Hilton says, Freedom in You. Jim and Anika Mallard says, awesome, spirit-filled song of worship with some fire and prayer emojis there. So Eric, just tell us briefly a little bit about that song.
Yeah, this song actually came out of wow. It was, I think it was one of those moments where it just dropped. And what experience was I going through that time? Yeah, a lot of things was not going right at that time, even to losing my job and even nearly losing our house as well. You know, it was that tough times. I mean, I tell you, like, everything that could go wrong was happening within the same season and so forth. And it just dropped in my spirit, you know. I surrender all to you. I mean, in some of the songs, you can hear the lyrics about I surrender, I'm giving it all to you. And these tend to come from also personal experiences that going through that. Just, it's like God just drop and say that, listen, I'm here with you. Look up to me. I've pulled you out of many situations. Wouldn't I do it for you now? You know, because you can easily forget what God has done for you when you're going through things, you know. So it's something that just dropped and the lyric just started coming. I don't even know how to explain this. It was not intentional, you know. It all birthed out through circumstances and that tough period of when it was like everything that could go. I mean, one of the things I could share that we moved into a house, and then within 2 months of being there, we get a notice that the landlords brought their property back, and we've signed a you understand? And basically, the agent lied. We basically didn't tell us that he wasn't meant to let the property for us for a long term, and he knew that, but he lied to us that we can rent it for 2 years, knowing that the landlords were going to need it. And within that period, it was the most challenging 2018 year, wow. Challenging period of our back. And this just dropped, and it was like God was saying that just surrender it all, you know, surrender it all. I'm here with you. Haven't I done it for you? Haven't I been there for you? And you can see the passion in this, you know, it means so much to me, this song. And God really came through. God really, and gave us even 3 times better than what we were facing. So yeah, that's right.
Incredible. And you know, there's such a negative connotation around the word surrender, isn't there?
Yeah.
You know, you see the white flag, it's an emblem of defeat in a war. But actually, when you surrender to God, it's actually the first step of freedom.
That's right. Right.
Oh, God bless you, Eric. It's been such a pleasure speaking to you this evening, and I hope you've really enjoyed being on Social Distancing Live. I know that you've really inspired a lot of the people tonight, just judging from the comments, and thank you for blessing us with your wonderful music and your heartfelt and vulnerable stories. You know, it's very personal, some of them, and very, you know, very, very personal. So thank you for sharing those. And I hope that if you've been affected by any of the issues that Eric has raised in tonight's program, please private message us. Can't confess to know all the answers, but we can certainly get you to the right people. And ultimately, if you'd like to know more about Jesus Christ, about the faith that me and Eric have in Jesus, as the hope that we have in this time, the peace that we have in this time, please do not delay. It's no accident you've tuned in tonight. Please get in touch with us. We would love to share our faith with you and talk with you further. Eric, before you go, you were talking about the Believe Project, of course, and that's when we sadly lost you due to technical issues. So can you tell us a little bit about that and where people can keep tabs on that project and where they can get your music and everything?
Yeah. Okay. So in regards to the Believe Project, everything will come into light in terms of where people can access information about it within this week actually. Yeah, so we're creating like a site where you can get what the whole vision is about behind this, and the song video will actually be released first week or later second week in June, and we want all of you to get involved. It's an opportunity to, there's projects that we are working towards to, like even in Pakistan, building water wells and so forth. This is all for a good cause, so we're targeting certain countries in each of the continent, and those that have been affected, really trying to raise funds for them. This is what Believe is all about. All worship leaders coming together for one purpose, from all over the world. So, as I said, that's what we need in Australia or New Zealand. If you guys are there, please let Rob know or just inbox me on my Facebook. If you want to find more information about myself, my website is www.ericreverence.co.uk. You can find me on social media, Instagram or Facebook by typing Eric Reverence. You can get music from my YouTube. Please subscribe. To me, it's not about subscribing just for the sake of getting subscribed, but I believe that the more worship songs or the songs that God leads me to write, I want it to be an impact to people, when they listen to it, for churches to use as well. So that's where I tend to release a lot of my songs as well. So there are more things coming. Please, subscribe to it. And I'd love to hear some good comments about the songs that the Holy Spirit led me to write as well. Please share it, because it's all about people that are reading it. You don't know what they're going through. And it's something that could be a life-changing experience or encouragement or uplifting. It's all, we're all here for God's work. And to me, I just believe in unity. Your gift, my gift, we all come together for one purpose.
Amen.
And that's what the heart. Yeah. Amen. Yeah.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah.
And I will be recording something for you tomorrow.
For
yes,
the
Believe project. And
Yeah.
I won't give away the surprise, but I'm dressing up for it, and so I don't want to spoil the surprise. But we will be keeping you up to date with the project here on Social Distancing Live as well. Thank you, Eric. God bless. Night, God bless. And just before you go, my dad says, God continue to bless you richly, Eric. Dad's watching on YouTube. And Sarah says, thank you, Eric. So blessed by tonight. May God keep you and bless you always. And Jim and Anika Mallard, thanks, Rob. Thanks, Eric. Really good show tonight. Incredible message of faith and testimony. So God bless you, brother. And I will be in touch. And thank you for being our guest. Eric Reverence, of course. Check him out on all his social media and website as well. And as he said, if any of his songs blessed you, please, please, please share them. They could just be the answer for somebody who God places on your heart. So please share. Eric, thank you. Night, God bless. And I'll see you soon. Thank you very much indeed. So that was Eric Reverence, tonight's very special guest. I really hope you enjoyed that program. And if any of the issues that we talked about tonight just spoke to you in any kind of way, if you had a funny feeling when we were talking about them, please, please, please get in touch with me. I would love to tell you about Jesus and about the peace and the joy that you can have and the assurance that you can have through having faith in him. Please message me. It's no accident you're tuning in or watching it after the program. You've been led by somebody I believe is the Holy Spirit. So please, please, please get in touch. And I'd love to connect you with Jesus and people who know about him, who can give you answers to some of the questions you may have. So that's it for tonight, episode of Social Distancing Live. Tomorrow night we've got Mr. Dave Bilborough, who's on at 8:30. Dave, for those of you who don't know, is a very prominent worship leader from 70s, 80s and 90s. Grew up listening to him and had the honour of supporting him in concert when he came here in Abergavenny a few years ago, and he was very generous with his time and advice, and has always been ever since. And he'll be sharing some new songs with us, telling us about an exciting new podcast that he's got coming up as well. And please tune in at 8:30. And just to let you know what else we've got coming up this week as well, on Wednesday we've got Gavin Peacock. those of you who don't know, I'm a massive football fan. Gavin Peacock played for Chelsea, Newcastle United, Charlton, and QPR, and was a fantastic broadcaster on BBC. BBC Sport, Match of the Day, and they gave it all up to become a minister in Canada. So he's going to be telling us about his career, his faith, and his new life as well. That is on Wednesday at 8 p.m. at brand new time there, 8 p.m. a slightly earlier time for Social Distancing Live. So if you've got any football friends who, they love football, they're going to know who he is for sure. Please tune in and tell them about it. And it's a great way for them to learn about God too at the same time. And on Thursday we've got, I'm just thinking, is this the right one? No, that's not the right one. Actually, I have not got a slide for that. That's pretty bad. But Thursday we've got Camille Meskill from The Light Room. They're sharing their brand new single with us, and she's also telling us a fantastic story as well. And on Friday we've got Wired Worship. They're a worship collective from Ireland. They're releasing their new album on Friday as well, and they're going to share a few songs from that as well and tell us a bit about what's going on in Ireland as well. So thanks to Eric once again, Eric Reverence. God bless you all. Stay safe, be kind, and pray for protection, provision of your health, finances, and family and friends. And God bless you all. Please join me tomorrow night for Dave Bilborough, 8:30 on Social Distancing Live. But from me, Rob Westall, and Eric Reverence, good night. God bless.